Welcome, everybody. I am Camille Sargi, the broker owner of Goldor Realty, and this is Just 2 Minutes. Today, I have Tyler here. Tyler, you want to tell us about you?
Yes, my name is Tyler Paquette, and I own Kingdom Living Design. We started the company about 4 years ago, and the whole concept of and the vision of the company is to really provide a excellent service to real estate agents across the East Coast here. And what we focus on is high-end remodel, finishing cabinets, and we do a lot of work interior. We don't touch anything to the exterior of the homes, but that's a bit about what I do and what we do with our company.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And thank you for stopping by and and agreeing to do this interview after all you've seen online of these videos.
Thank you for having me.
You're like, am I making a mistake coming to this? But yeah, I'm going to start the Just 2 Minutes.
Sure.
And my timer over here. Go. Llamas. What's your favorite kind of llama?
My favorite kind of llama? That's a good question. I think I'd say the long-haired ones.
Long-haired one? All right. So if that llama with long hair could cook, what would you want it to cook for you?
That's a good question. I'd probably say maybe some steak.
Steak, yeah.
Potatoes. Sounds good.
Okay. How about that beard? Like, how long did it take you to
The beard took me about 1.5 years, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was kind of by accident how it all happened. So, yeah. I had this sort of vision. I said, once I hit 1 million, I'll shave it. So that's my goal.
All right. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to get you there because we love the beard, but maybe 10 million. You should raise it to 10 million. All right. So it's 1960. You have a choice between these two cars.
Ooh.
A Toyota or a Honda. Which one would you go with?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd probably go with the Honda just because it's 1960. And I kind of like that era of Honda.
Okay. And what kind of car would you pick?
Now you're stepping it up because
in the 60s, remember, you had to be
60s.
in the 60s.
Probably like an SUV because I'm always more of the SUV type. I don't know the models of that year with Honda, but I would definitely go that route.
Okay. If you were to take over any planet besides Earth, what planet would you take over?
Well, I'd probably join forces with Elon and I'd go to Mars, start there. And I think we could probably branch out further into, I know there's one that sort of mimics Earth I was always fascinated with.
Okay. They're installing a shower. For the floor, would you pick asphalt or cement?
I'd pick asphalt.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But imagine that shower, like that would be weird.
It would be.
But it would feel great on your feet. But
probably space
just
rock
for once.
Cool,
I would try it once.
Like space rock, like a sort of asteroid material. That would be interesting.
Hard to clean, but
very. I don't know if you want to regrout that.
So Tyler, tell me about you. Like how did you start this company? What got you?
So interesting enough, I actually started the company as sort of a joke. I was like, people were asking me, maybe you should just start a company in the building trades because I've been in the trades for about 15 years now. I started out it was a skill that I developed. I'm a 4th generation carpenter by trade. My great-great-grandfather came here from Portugal, San Miguel, and it was sort of passed down. It was sort of this not expectation in the family to figure out what you're going to do for your future. So I picked the trades. I was about 16 when I started, 15, 16. I started working with my uncle. And then I went to the Carpenters Union, took on that as an apprentice, went through the whole process. I became a journeyman, then removed myself from there. And that's kind of how I started, the long and short of it, of how I started the company with Kingdom Living Design. And the whole vision of it really was to try, kind of just help people, because I've noticed in the trades a lot, specifically, there's a lot of drug addiction. There's a lot of issues with just the individuals, like they're just struggling. And I just had a heart for it. And I was like, how can I help those individuals sort of catapult them into a place where they don't have to struggle to make ends meet, but let's create this sort of ecosystem. And that's been the vision of the company, is to sort of help the tradespeople and sort of reinvent the whole trades as a whole, because it's something that's near and dear to me. I just hated seeing people lose their houses and all this stuff in real estate. I mean, you just see it all the time. It's very normal in that trade. there's a lot of mentality of they work for such a long time, and then they're on and off with being laid off and trying to find work. So it's something I'm building, and it's been a project, and we're continuing to build. But so right now we're focusing really on high-end finish work, working with real estate agents like yourself. We really do focus on the niche of doing apartment flips. We've started there. We've kind of segued into doing real estate flips. Like we're really looking to do a lot more of those come maybe next summer to try to get into that market.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that that's how you hired people, like with this whole idea of let's work together, and the struggle that, because, carpenters, they're good at what they do, but running a business is not. So that's where you come in. That's where you come in and help them.
Yes. We sort of deal with the mindset. And that's really where I'm trying to bring the company now, is to help people. Once we have them, encourage them. Like if you have an entrepreneurial background or desire to be an entrepreneur, like let's serve you and help you to get there. Like we're not going to discourage you from starting your own company, but let's sort of lock arms and work together on that, because we can, I believe, change the whole environment, the landscape. There's a lot of hurting people, and that's sort of been my passion.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Plumbers who end up getting their master plumber license, and they, pay them for work. They don't show up, don't end up showing up, you get sued. It's a crazy thing. Helping guide them or having them work with you is a great way to create honesty in a unhonest, because there's so many complaints about plumbers, electricians, contractors not showing up and taking the money and just running.
It's true. And we get it all the time. I mean, those are sort of the scarred clients that we work with. Not all the time is that the case, because some of them are brand new, and we're happy to work with them because we give them the greatest experience they can have, because we're not running with their money. We're going to make sure the job gets done in a timely fashion. So it's great experience on that end. But on the other end, where it's like they've gone through the ringer with contractor after contractor, you can just tell they've been so hurt by the environment. It's like all they want to do is get their house fixed, and there's $60,000 in a project that should have cost them 20. And you just have to have that empathy, and that's sort of where we come in. And the holistic approach is we really serve them in a fashion that we understand where you're coming from, but this is where we are. And it's sort of like a counseling session, if you will, where we're really trying to help them navigate, like, yes, you spent a lot of money, but let's just get this done. Let's stop putting the Band-Aid on, and just let's deal with the issue, and we'll fix it, make it right, and we'll keep it moving. So we've had quite a few success stories with clients like that.
I'm really curious about the name. How'd you come up with the name?
So interesting enough, I know in the East Coast, it's usually connected to a religion, and we've had a lot of those questions. And so I've sort of programmed my mind to automatically know, all right, people are thinking church or something. So it actually came as a result of sort of inviting this environment of royalty and this whole environment of creating the best product possible. Because I think when you think of kingdom, at least for me, I see it as like taking territory, sort of locking arms, and let's build the army. And so that's the vision of kind of where it came to be. It came in as like, I had this vision of like seeing different companies, other contractor companies, where instead of us competing, fighting over the same bone, i.e. the client, let's stop doing that, and let's just work together. Let's band together, and let's strengthen our cause and make it so that it's enjoyable for everybody. Like everybody can eat. Not everybody has to fight and compete. So that whole model of like, what's your competition? It's like, I'm only in competition with myself. I'm not in competition with anybody.
Yeah.
So I've really kind of wanted to capture that. And so Kingdom, the living design is pretty clear. I mean, the living aspect is the daily life. That was the vision of that. And then the design aspect is like, let's take what you have in your mind and sort of expand it and do something with your house, with your real estate office, with your commercial space. And let's like do something totally different. Let's make a living wall. Let's put a water fountain here. Let's do something crazy that nobody does, so that it becomes a statement piece. And we're of course recognized for that because, oh, who did that? Oh, Kingdom Living Design did that. But more so their clients are like, wow, this is this sort of revolutionary or different. And so that's kind of where the whole name concept came. And we're looking to rebrand it a little bit to KLD, just kind of keep it short.
Okay.
But I really started it out with just, all right, let's just come out with a bang and see where it goes. So we've had a lot of interesting responses with the name, though, for sure.
Yeah, I love it. The whole concept and everything about it, I love it. So back to when you were a carpenter.
Yes.
What was the best thing that you built?
Best thing I built, I would say, was probably a kitchen that I did for my grandmother's friend. It was like kind of the first big project that I ever did. And it was just kind of like working with her and the whole experience of like, this is like the first big project I'm doing. And she had cabinets that were like probably 40 years old and they were just like beat. And I told her, I'm like, if you can get the cabinets, I could do the work. And just from beginning to end, that whole experience, because again, you're not dealing with cabinets really. And I think a lot of companies, when they're a cabinet company, and nothing against them, there's phenomenal cabinet companies everywhere. They do great work. But I noticed there's a missing piece of like the human side. Like you're not just ripping somebody's cabinets out. This is their life. Like they've lived out of this kitchen for 40 years. They've raised kids and grandkids. And so it was a cool experience through and through. But I was able to really, beautify it. We still have pictures. It was kind of like the old school Kodak pictures.
Wow.
So I have them hanging around somewhere in a box, I'm sure. But that was my first experience. And that was like really, really cool. Because she was, of course, in tears after because the whole transformation.
Yeah.
But it was a nice time.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the best thing I built was doghouse.
Doghouse. Came out nice though.
Put shingles on the top and I'm like, stood there. I'm like, yeah, I built that. It was crap, but I'm not a professional.
It's in the eye of the beholder, right?
That's right. Did my dog ever go in there? No.
Really?
Because he's smart. He's like, I'm not going in there. I think it's going to fall on me. Have you helped, or you see a situation where you helped an agent with, having a tough time with the look of this kitchen?
Yes.
Like, how the heck can I make this look appealing for buyers?
So we have come across one or two of those. Usually they already have a plan and this is what they're executing on. But there was one or two occasions where that was the case. And we did come in, we provided a solution because we have a really good cabinet company that we work with. Similar, I don't know if you're familiar with cabinets at all, but they have like, I think it's Cabinet Mode and Dutch Made. Those are huge, like very, very high end. They're like upper echelon stuff you'd see in probably Narragansett high end kitchens. So we have the equivalent of that at like ridiculously low prices because the person I get it from isn't a owner of a actual facility. She just has the connection to the cabinet manufacturer directly. So she buys direct and we just purchase from her and we get it like 14% cheaper than anywhere you can get it on any shelf at a discount price. So we're giving them, so for an example, a kitchen that would cost them $60,000, we can get it to them. This is the product I'm talking, not the install. We can get it to them for about $35,000. So we're cutting that almost in half off the top. So we provided that. And then it was also like a color. So the issue they had was, and this was kind of right when the change of like white cabinets, like they're still doing white cabinets now, but they want to blend. You see a lot of like the darker blue cabinets as like the island, so that they didn't have an island in the whole scheme initially. So he came in and said, well, why not put an island here? And hear me out. Let's just do like a navy blue, darker sort of color to offset the back cabinets so that it kind of creates this sort of different vibe in the space. And we put it all together, showed them what it would look like before. And the client actually absolutely loved it. And we went ahead and purchased everything and installed it. And they were very, very happy. But it was a cool experience because everybody was kind of like baffled, like, because they were looking at white cabinets. And I'm like, let's just mix it up. Like, why do we have to do it the same? It doesn't have
to be.
Yeah, nothing has to be everything the same. So, and I think that was kind of like he had maybe like 5 things he could choose from.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of being a designer is we can pull from every which direction. We can put wood molding on top of white cabinets and just do some kind of like custom design.
Oh, like existing
Yes,
cabinets?
existing cabinets, or usually the new cabinets. We'd like to get them from the manufacturer, of course, because we want to install them. But if
they
they
can spruce up
spruce up the existing.
Okay. So if an agent has an issue, or like, they're really feeling like the kitchen is just not doing it, you can come in and be like, let's retouch that. Let's do this and that. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where it comes back to the name of the company. Like I was sharing earlier, is we kind of work with other companies where we'll give them work. We'll say, hey, you do the cabinet refinishing. We'll touch up the trim on this thing. We'll make it look like this, and kind of bring it to the 21st century to kind of help them to get it sold. We have done a few of those where it's like the cabinets are just like basically plywood. And we just dress it up with some very fine molding on the cabinet doors, and it makes it look aesthetically pleasing. And the end results, you change hardware. It's amazing what can happen when you just put paint, hardware, and a little bit of molding. Cost them maybe $2,000 versus $20,000.
Yeah.
So there are those experiences, and it's a lot of fun because it's like a puzzle. You got to figure it out. How are we going to make this work financially for everybody, but also get the best product and get this house sold.
So if they tell you we're working with a budget of this much, very tight, what can you do?
So very tight, I guess it depends on what we're looking at, but we definitely can refinish your floors, hardwood floors off the top. I have a phenomenal crew that works for me. Like, they just do an amazing job, and I get their price. I can't share the prices, but the prices are so cheap. It's just ridiculous. I mean, we can basically redo all the floors in here. If this is 1,100 square feet, we could probably do it for $3,000 to $4,000, which is dirt cheap.
Wow.
And that means they strip the entire floors, put 2 coats of poly, and just finish it off with some nice gloss. And
I'm always afraid of that because I just don't want dust everywhere. I remember going through construction with this place. It was like dust everywhere. It was like, oh my God, how is this going to be clean? Because I'm very like OCD. I want everything like perfect. And it was just like, oh my God, all this, what am I going to do? How would you do that in an existing?
So we usually put up some temp walls. We'll put up some plastic walls. We'll close off all the areas that aren't getting sanded. Of course, close all the doors. I mean, you're going to have dust. It's virtually impossible to stop it from getting on everything. But go around. We'll usually have a team come in, couple, maybe $200-$300, have them come in. They'll just wipe everything down, clean everything nice, and leave it as perfect as it can be, because the floor is going to cure and stuff. So they kind of work with them as they're going out the door.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Then after, they come back in and they'll do a quick sweep.
Is your target audience like, the elegant type of homes that are
ideally,
high-end? And
Watch Hill. We've done quite a bit of work, but we've gone out to Maryland a few times, which was kind of an interesting drive. We did a high-end bathroom, believe it or not, in Baltimore. That was a lot of fun.
How the heck did they find you?
So it was a friend of a friend.
Okay.
So they had reached out and said, hey, we're doing our kitchen, our bathroom, and just want to see what time frame you can do it in. So
awesome.
We went out there and handled that.
Do you show that stuff on your website?
Not on the website. I do a lot on social media.
Yeah.
I do have to update my website. That's one of those things that I'm kind of in the dark on.
All right.
But I am actively looking to update that.
Yeah, because it's cool to visually see like what it looked like before to after. I love those.
And that's part of the plan too, with the whole educational aspect of the different tradespeople we work with, because we also want to help ourselves, but as well as others, kind of navigate that terrain. Like, it's important to get before and afters. Like, I was notorious for not taking after pictures. Take before, and it's like, oh crap, I had all those things done, but now I can't.
How do you tell the homeowner, hey,
it's done, I promise.
It's been a year now. How do I, can I come in and just take a picture?
It's awkward. So I've gotten a lot better with that. So I have like a ton of, probably 10,000 photos on my phone that I got to transfer and upload those. But so I mean, in a case with like low budget and stuff, we definitely can do the floors. We can do paint, certain things like that to kind of spruce up. I always recommend like a little bit of just TLC, like just let's go in and just remove some molding, put some new stuff on if we can, and just kind of save costs there. But usually paint, floors, done. I mean, there's really not much, $2,000 budget you can work with. But that's,
I mean, like you said, like people come into the house to see it. There's white cabinets and they're like, oh, it's a kitchen. and they keep continuing, like walking around. But then if it's like crazy color, they're like, oh, look at that.
Yes.
That looks nice.
Put a plant there.
You know,
staging.
How much did that cost to make that happen? And now they're thinking about the kitchen, and we want to put an offer on this house. We like it.
Yes.
And so does everybody else. And now you have a bidding war.
Which is always fun.
So you mentioned waterfall, and that's I love water. I love waterfall. It's very relaxing.
It is.
What did you do as far as
So we haven't done anything like that yet. We have proposed a few ideas. Of course, with those types of situations, they're usually commercial clients. And we did present plans to a client that we were going to work with. It was actually, I believe, in Fall River. They were kind of right on the border there. Between Fall River and I think Sona or something, but they had like a commercial space, and they just wanted the front area to like look just totally like you walk in and you're just like, wow, like that wow factor. I said, well, water always has a wow factor, and plants also do. So I said, why not have like a living wall behind the reception desk that has maybe some lights and just like a simple, just straight. We can use our granite company that we work with. Just have like a rough piece of granite. And the water's just trickling down, and it has that nice sort of sound effect as well. It's very soothing.
I love it.
So it was very, very cool. But unfortunately, we didn't get the project. But they ended up doing something similar. So it was kind of cool to see the end result, regardless if we got it or not. But
cool. So that's one of the examples as far as an agent with a listing. What other things can you help with as far as, or have you helped with agents with a listing?
So with a listing, we try to provide solutions off the bat. So, I mean, we keep a ton of contacts. I have probably over 1,000 different people that I can call on at any given time. We don't do staging, but I know at least 15 different kinds of stagers that vary in different degrees, vary in different budgets. So we work with them. But we also like kind of come in and say, if you need electrician, plumber, like we have people that we can provide you in a quick time frame, quick turnaround, because we know that agents, they want to sell. That's their bread and butter. So we want to get them in, get them out. And so we're trying to really push on that aspect so that if we can get this all done and get you taken care of, and you're in, like if something that they would expect would take maybe 2 weeks, if we can beat that and do it in a week, that's kind of the offer that we're looking to stand on. And we've done it a few times. We're still tweaking some things because of course you're working with other trades, different kinds of people, but we have a pretty solid team right now where we could just call them and they'll
So
show
what's
up.
it? What is it like that you do?
So,
or what can you do for?
So what can we do? So
we talked about cabinets.
Yeah,
you talked about
cabinets.
floors.
We do the full remodel. So we restore properties. We can go in. We don't really touch too much of the sheetrock when it comes down to like the bare bones. But say if a property you come in, it's a historic property, for example, similar to what you have here. Like we'll revamp the whole place. We'll sand the trim, sand the walls down, refinish the place. We'll have some paint put on the walls. We'll go in and we'll really maybe knock a wall down and relocate. And so that's where the design aspect comes in, where we can kind of suggest things to the client. And that's really where we specialize, is kind of like, let's make the most of the space rather than just, oh, this is the dining room, this is the living room, this is the bedroom. Why can't we sort of combine these or move this wall over, make an additional room? So that's sort of where our expertise come in.
Cool. And then I'm guessing investors with flipping a property.
Yes.
You guys come in and do or suggest things?
Yeah, we'll suggest. We'll try to get the work, but usually they already have people in mind. So we'll come in, we'll give them a consultation. This is the fee. This is what we're looking at. And this is the plans that we'll present to you at at what you're looking for. We'll give them like 3 different options of what this building could look like and potential for resale. Because we'll do in-depth study of the area. So if it's close to ocean, we know these people are going to be probably having a boat. They're probably going to be spending time with their family here. It's a vacation property. So let's do some cool sort of renderings, if you will, of what that could look like.
Wow.
And so
I can see you guys being like, for the new investor who's like, I want to invest in property and do flipping, having you just coming in and saying, oh, we'll do this, without them having to try to think and envision what this place is going to look like. You guys are awesome for that because you come in and do that, do the work, done, sell it.
Yep.
Get the money.
That's the best case scenario. That's always what we're looking to do.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. I didn't know all these things. Like it's good to really understand how you work and it's important for other people to understand that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And we definitely, like I said, we really harp on the holistic side and really want to help people through the process because it's like, we don't want to just go in, get it done, get paid. I mean, that whole model is kind of dead in a lot of ways. So that's kind of how we stand out. Not to compete with anybody, but I know that in our experience and at least in my experience, it's always been hugely beneficial to just really focus on the client's needs. It's like, this is what they want. Self-explanatory. Like they have a budget, they have a deadline. Let's just focus and really bring it together. Yeah.
Very cool. Trying to think of, so we got the investor, we got the, I guess, buyers too. Like they buy this house and they weren't initially happy with something, or their agents, like they tell their agent, like, I like this house, I want to put an offer, but I don't like the way this flows in the house, and then the agent refer you guys. You've done stuff like that for?
We haven't done anything quite like that yet. Like I said, we've had a couple experiences in those areas, but nothing kind of concrete. We had a property probably about 1.5 years ago in Massachusetts. It was close to, I want to say like past Worcester, like Lynn area, but in any event, it was kind of the countryside. It was like right on the Nashua, New Hampshire line. Beautiful, beautiful property. It had a buildable lot on the property, and they were trying to resell because they basically ran out of money. And it was a situation like that where we came in, and the lady was phenomenal, a very sweet woman. She just had her husband had some health challenges, and she was just like, we just can't afford the property. It was a farmhouse. So it was just like, anything that could go wrong went wrong in the property. It was very tough to kind of hear. She put like $400,000 into it, and she said, all of my money's depleted. I just can't. So man. I really felt for her, and that's kind of where we were lending a hand to sort of help, because all she needed to do was basically put sheetrock back on. She couldn't afford it. It was there. Just couldn't afford to pay the contractor to put it on. And so she was looking at a loan. A long story short, the house needed to sell, so another contractor came in. That's all they do is they buy and sell flips. So they came in and facilitated that. But we're very close to it. It was a hopeful situation that we could get in there.
Yeah, if you run into those situations, let me know, because we can jump in and 100%. Help buy it, fund it, do all kinds of different things.
Yeah, that would be a great entrance into the flip world and helping people, because it was tough to watch. It was kind of painful. She had to take a loss and stuff. So yeah.
So how do you spend your days? What do you do? You go give out quotes? Is that what?
So I spend my days, I usually get up around 5 a.m. I'm pretty much like, I'm usually on calls. I have a few people that call for me. I do a lot of the calls myself, but basically my experience, I haven't done much marketing, but I've done a lot more sort of relational interaction, where we'll go networking, we'll meet this person, we'll go for a coffee, whatever the case. And I'll really sort of make a introduction into who we are, what we do. And then that sort of spirals into their mom needs some work done on their house, and that turns into this. Yeah. And that's been the case because I've tried a lot of like Angie's and all these other different platforms. Not saying they don't work, they do work. It works for some people, but for me, it's like, I need that. I don't want that commercial side. I want the relationship side, because I know doors will open that way. So
business development is what you do. You outreach, trying to get more
outreach.
Business.
I do a lot of the sort of day-to-day operational stuff right now, and I've been doing that since we've opened the company. So it's been a lot of just kind of going out there and just hands to the plow, really. Yeah. Just finding out who's out here, what are the needs, how can we serve.
So ideal call for you is not, oh, hey, can you guys refinish my floors? It's more like, hey, could you look at my home and tell me what you suggest that I do? And
I would say so.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that would be an ideal. We do get those calls a lot, though, where it's like they want the floor refinished and stuff.
You're like, I want to prove myself to you. Ask me.
I want to do your trim.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've had a few of those calls, and those are always great when they do call in. And but a lot of my outreach has definitely been kind of like just word of mouth, people coming and making those connections. And it's always a stronger bond because the trust is there automatically because they know the person that referred. So really,
I guess the question to them is like, in your home, do you always wonder, or does something annoy you about your house, the way it's set up, the bathroom? You do bathrooms, right?
Yes, do bathrooms. We do the full remodel.
Okay. So bathroom, your kitchen, your bedroom.
Yes.
All right, yeah. Invite me over. I'll look at it and give you my suggestion and price, and let's go.
Yep.
What about people stealing your ideas and just having their cousin do it for free?
Well, that's where we have sort of developed this consultation system where we'll come in. We have a set price. This is what it is. If you want plans and all of that, that's work, that's time, that's our team. So we need to be compensated. So we'll say, this is what it is. We're going to give you for maybe one or two sort of ideas of what this could look like. That's what the price is. And then if you want a third, it's an additional. And then we'll come in and offer that way. And then we're not really worried if somebody else comes in. It's like we know they're shopping at that point. So, but I try to make it very clear to the homeowner, to the client, that we're not here to help you shop. But if you want to shop, that's a different avenue.
Yeah.
So we kind of feel them out initially in the initial conversation. Usually over the phone, I'll ask them, what's your budget? What's your timeline? What are you thinking? And that usually answers a lot of the entry level questions that I don't have to go in blind and say, okay, now I've just spent an hour driving and half hour with the client and nothing's happening here because they're just looking to get a price. So yeah, we can generally do that over the phone.
So how do people find you?
So social media, we have our Facebook, we have Instagram. We're on quite a bit on, we can find us on Google, find us on our website. But generally, I found a lot of people use Facebook. So that's been since the groups and all that Facebook's had for years now. It's been a huge help. So people find us a ton on Facebook.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for stopping by and doing the interview.
Absolutely.
And I'll see you around networking.
My pleasure.
My agent's got a squad, we all in the zone. In-house help, so they ain't doing it alone. They focus on clients, negotiating win, while the back end's hand 'em, man, that's how we spin. I hand 'em business, watch 'em all climb.